Hello everyone, my name is TaxOwlbear and welcome back to the Lovecraftian video game retrospective, and welcome to Anchorhead. Anchorhead is another text adventure, but it's from 1998, so it's almost a retro game for a text adventure. Anchorhead circles around a woman and her husband has just inherited an old mansion in the titular town of Anchorhead near Arkham in New England, because a distant relative of his, whom you didn't really know before, has died, and you're his last relative. And he also murdered his wife. So yeah, that's a very good start. Needless to say, there's more to the town of Anchorhead as you initially think, and you have to solve quite a number of mysteries before you find out what's actually behind your family history and what's up with the town. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because once more, I don't want to spoil this game for you because it's actually pretty solid. So the game doesn't have a soundtrack, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's a text adventure, so that's understandable. The controls are alright, they're not the best text adventure controls, and I wish the game would recognize a couple more phrases, but it's not really too much of an issue. What I absolutely didn't like was navigation, because once more it's a game where you can only use cardinal directions. So whenever you want to go from A to B, you have to type in whatever direction you want to go, which can be something between 1 or 2 or even up to 10 different direction commands, which can be a little bit annoying. And this even goes for your own house. So if you, let's say, have been to the kitchen, you can't just type go to kitchen. You have to type, let's say, go up, go west, go north, northwest, go east. And to be honest, that makes this game way more tedious than necessary. But overall, it's still a good text adventure, mainly because there's no real time limit, at least not a time limit as in The Hound of Shadow, and you don't really die all that often. You can die, but it doesn't happen too often, so it's really not all that bad compared to some of the older text adventures. So the description of the different places and rooms is pretty good, and it adds a lot of atmosphere. But one of the problems with that is that the description is given every time you enter a room or go to a place. For example, at one point you go through an alleyway and you see a bird that looks at you like it was a human, not actually an animal. That's actually a pretty good description and makes the scene a lot more creepy. But this description is given every single time you move through that alleyway, and since you can't navigate directly from place A to B, you're going to read that a lot, and that's not really all that great and doesn't really add to the atmosphere. But that's really almost the only gripe I have with that game. This game is, as you can probably figure out, also based on The Shadow over Infamous, even though it's a way looser adaptation. Or actually, I wouldn't even call it an adaptation, it's more based on it in general. You have the theme of a town that has a secret, but it's way less based on Shadow of the Comet than, let's say, way less based on The Shadow of Innsmouth than the Shadow of Shadow of the Comet. Sorry about that. So, would I recommend this game? Yes, if you like text adventures. If you don't like text adventures, it's probably not the best for you. So yeah, this game is very, very novel-like. Doesn't have too many cheap deaths, and it even has a restore function. So should you die, you don't really have to reload a save and do what you did during the last 10 minutes all over again. Instead, you can just restore your pre-ultimate stab and undo your death, which is pretty good. This game is also available for free, so the creator has released it for free, which is very nice, and you can also play it online, and I'm going to leave a link in the description, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. I would recommend it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you then. Take care and goodbye.